So tonight I thought that I would redo one of my very first YouTube videos I did when I first started YouTube, which was only like 4 months ago actually. So I haven't been on YouTube that long, but my first videos were like awful quality because my phone, like I used my phone to record the videos, and the screen was cracked in the front where the camera was. So it was like all blurry on one of the sides. They were awful. Anyway, so I decided I'm going to be redoing my very first YouTube videos that I did, because now I have my little studio here with these giant lights, so the colors and everything, it's a little bit more clear, which is, I think, more important, you know? So I really wanted to just redo those videos that I did so I can show you guys what I really wanted you guys to be able to see in those videos, which I think are really important because I have been getting a ton of emails regarding knockoff, fake, replica Longchamp bags, especially from eBay. It has been like a constant daily thing. I get emails about this. There's so many people that are getting taken advantage of on eBay. I have called eBay multiple times. I've called Longchamp multiple times to report the sellers on eBay as well. It's very frustrating that these replica sellers are getting away with this, and people are being completely fooled because some of the replicas on there are so good that if you really don't know Longchamp like I do and have such a large collection like I do and notice details very small like I do, people are getting taken advantage of left and right. And I can pretty much spot the fakes like really quickly just because I have so many, and so I'm used to what they're supposed to be like, and you learn to know what is authentic and what is a replica after you know, when you love a brand so much and you have a large variety of them, you really get a feel for what it should be like. Okay, now a lot of people have asked me these questions too. It depends where you buy your bag from. You know, if you buy directly from Longchamp, if you buy from Neiman's, Nordstrom, Saks, Gilt, you know, wherever, they do come packaged differently. So sometimes they'll have the plastic all around the handles, sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll have a tag attached, sometimes they won't. Sometimes the nails will be in this cardboard in a bag, sometimes they won't. It just depends where you get them from. So I don't want anybody going off of how the bag is packaged whatsoever. Don't go by that. I want you to go by the details I'm going to go over in this video again, like I did in my very first YouTube video, and show you guys. And I want you to understand that Longchamp does not provide dust bags for non-leather bags. So the regular Le Pliages and the Neos do not come with dust bags. So if you see these listings all over eBay where they have these nice little dust bags with the horse and stuff on there, it's fake. That is not a real bag. They don't come with dust bags like that at all. Longchamp only comes with dust bags when it's a leather bag. And the green on the bag, it's a certain color green, okay? So you gotta really look for that. It's not in it, and everything's crisp and sharp and everything too. So these details do matter. They really do matter. And I want you to, I just am sick of people getting taken advantage of because it really just bothers me. It's one thing knowing that you're buying a replica, but it's another thing when these people are completely taking advantage of you and taking, basically stealing. It's stealing, actually. In my opinion, that is stealing from somebody. You are stealing somebody's money when you are selling a replica bag that you know is a replica bag, and you're deceiving these people, okay? So if you're out there watching this video, you replica sellers, you all can go fuck yourself. Okay, moving on to the good part of the video. Sorry, I just get really intense when it comes to that stuff, you know? I don't like people getting taken advantage of, all right? Okay, so let's go over the differences between a very high quality replica and an authentic bag. I only have one replica bag because I didn't know it was a replica, but I told that story in my previous video. It was an eBay purchase. Anyway, I ended up getting the bag for free. I got all my money back for the bag, and I kept the bag because I want to be able to do this video, and I have used it at the grocery store one time, and I put the milk jug inside of it and carried it out, because that's all it deserves, in my opinion. A non-authentic bag does not deserve to be treated like an authentic bag. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get into it, because I'm already at 5 minutes, so it's going to take a little while to get through everything. This one is the Replica. It's a AAA countertop, whatever you want to call it, Replica. Longchamp Le Pliage Neo in the size large, okay? And then I have right here, this is my authentic Longchamp Le Pliage Neo large, okay? This is in the color gray, and then this is in the color navy, okay? And I'm going to go over the little tiny details that you can look for even in photos, okay? If you are going to go the eBay route, you need to really look at these details. And the very first thing I look at when I have somebody, I ask for pictures or whatever, is the button, okay? You want to look at the button. That's the first thing I look at, okay? The button, and then I look at the zipper pull. Those are the two things I look at immediately, and that will tell me if it's a fake almost immediately. Within seconds, I'll know if it's a fake. So I'm going to try to get this hopefully close. We're going to talk about the button first, okay? So I want to see, I don't know, is that coming in focus there? I'm trying to hold it. My phone is ringing. Okay, sorry. I want you to look at the button here. There's a ring around the button, okay? There's a ring around this button. And the ring here comes in a little bit more to the center than it should. And it's actually a little bit like deeper and thicker. So the space between the outside here of the button, the line, and then the inside, it's too much. It's too thick. So look at that. That's the Replica one, all right? And this is my authentic one. And this one is actually made in France, too. So this is a France-made one, and this Replica is a France-made one, too. And that also is a pretty big indicator. I find that all the high-end replicas, they're all made in France, which a lot of the regular Le Pliages and the Neos, they're really not made in France anymore. I think I only have a couple that are. Most of them are made in, like Tunisia or Romania or Morocco, stuff like that. But yeah, okay, so here's the button on the authentic. Hopefully you can see this a little bit better. And I'm going to try to take pictures also for you guys and insert it in this video so you can see side by side about what I'm talking about in case it's not picking it up on camera. But see how the line isn't as deep right here, and it's not as thick between the outside and then the inside here. Okay. Now, so that's the authentic. And it's a lot crisper, and the the coloring too, I forgot. The coloring of the button on authentics, it is more of a nickel finish, okay? It's a nickel finish, and the button actually sits a little bit more flush against the flap here, okay? See that? And on the replicas, it's more chrome finish, so it's a lot more shiny silver, and it's not a nickel finish. It's more of a silvery finish. And the button, it sits up higher. It's a fatter button. So I really can't do this side by side. Yeah, this isn't really working. So I'll just have to do pictures for you guys, but hopefully this is helping. So that is another thing to look for, is the finish. Okay, authentics are a more nickel finish as opposed to this shiny chrome finish. Now, let's look at the zipper pulls. I want to show you, let me show you the authentic one first. Whoops, I just hit the thing, sorry. Oh, it's like we're all drunk. Okay. Trying to get this in focus. I don't know if it's gonna focus or not. Okay. A couple things about the zipper pull. I don't think it's focusing, sorry. But at least this video is clearer than the first one. Okay, on the zipper pull, the first thing is where it says Longchamp and then 1948 at the bottom here, the N's and the M in the word Longchamp, okay, the M and the N is very pointy. The first part of the N is a very sharp point, okay? And then the M in Longchamp is a sharp, okay? It's a sharp M. So the N, the first part of the N at the top is sharp, and then the M is sharp on that. So it's pointy and sharp. And the font is actually, it's smaller on here than it is on the Replica as well. So let me show you the Replica again. The pull tab. How the finish is off. It's more chrome finish and not a nickel finish. I don't know if that's picking it up. It's hard for me to kind of tell. I'm like leaning way forward. Okay. I wish it would like focus. Well, on here, on the Replica ones, the font is, it's thicker on here. It's a thicker, bigger font on there that says Longchamp than the 1948 on there as well. It's thicker, and then the M and the N, it's not pointy. It's just like flat, I guess you could call it, at the top of it. So it's not a pointy M and N and M. All right. Let me see if I can show you side by side. I'll try to do that. Hopefully you can kind of get the idea. See how much sharper it is on the Authentic than it is on the Replica? All right, the next thing about the zipper pull that I want you to pay attention to is how where the little pull thing here attaches to this part where the zipper is at. It's a lot bigger on the Replica one. Okay, so this part right here, this part here, the loop, whatever, this is a lot bigger on the Replica than it is on the Authentic. Like, I don't want to try to get close here, but I don't want to hit the camera. All right. Oh, I just did. Sorry, it's like, I just did it again. So that piece right here, see that? How much bigger it is on the Replica than it is on the Authentic. The Authentic, it's very dainty. It's a very dainty little middle piece right there. And this one is real thick. And it's bigger. Okay? Hopefully that was able to... And you can tell, just by looking at the metal, I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, but it just looks a lot cheaper. The metal and the finish on the Replica, it just looks cheaper. Like I said, I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, but this is a lot more chrome finished on the Replica as opposed to the Authentic, which is more of a nickel finish. And then the font size, of course. That's how I immediately tell. The button and then the font on the zipper pull and the color of it, that's immediately, I'll know if it's a fake or not. Because all the fakes I've seen, that's the mistakes that they've made. Is the button and then the zipper pull, just like that. All right. Moving on from the hardware now, let's talk about the embossing on the back, okay? So I'm going to show you the Authentic. I don't know. Is that picking it up? Hopefully. I really want this to be more clear than the first video for you guys. You can see how it looks really nice. It's very crisp. It's very clear. and it has the little asterisk things above where it says model depose down here. There's the little asterisk things above the E's, and it's all very sharp and crisp. All right, so that's the authentic. And then I'll show you the replica one. See how that font is a little bit different? And then it does have the little asterisks above the E's, but it's like it's like connected to the E's, so it looks really sloppy. And that is not supposed to be like that. And that goes for all the Longchamps, by the way. As far as the hardware goes and the buttons, it's not just the Neo. That goes for all of them. So some of these things I'm telling you guys go for the entire brand as a whole. When it comes to the hardware, the coloring of the hardware, and the the stamping and these embossings, okay? I don't know if I can do this side by, well, not really side by side, but let me try this. Let's try that. Is this like standing up trying to... Okay. You see, can you see that? All right, so there's that. Authentic should be really nice, crisp, clear, and sharp. And the E's, it should not be, they're not really attached. The little asterisks above the E's, like this, like on the replica, it just looks sloppy. The font is actually a little bit bigger on the replica as well, and the spacing is off on it too. Okay. Now, let's talk about the embossing of the horse on here. I'm looking at it here. That one, it looks really good, so let's not really, they did a good job with that as far as the sizing goes with the horse and jockey embossing there. But I do want to talk about the size of the flap. And I mean, by flap, I mean this part, okay? There is a sizing difference. If you can see that there. Okay. All right, moving on. Now the next thing is, and this is another really good detailed thing to look for. This is probably in one of my top ways to tell. What do you call these? Where the handle's attached to the bag right here, okay? I want you to see how close, this is, okay, let me try to move it on this side. This here is fatter than on the authentic, okay? And it is very close to the stitch seam right here. So see how close that is to the stitch seam? Right there. So this is fatter, and it's very close to the stitch seam right there. And on the authentic, see how this part is not as fat? It's not as fat, and it's not so close to that stitch seam right here. Let's try to do like a, this is, I might just have to insert pictures actually of this too, because I can't really hold it exact. But does this give you a good idea? You can kind of see what I'm talking about, I think, right? Let me stand up here and kind of, there. See that? The authentic is not quite as fat, and it's not so close to the stitch right there for the inside pocket. Okay? And then I want to talk about the end pieces right here. Now, I have noticed that they do sometimes vary in thickness between them, but they're always very, very, very close. So just because it might be a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner than another one doesn't mean it's necessarily fake. But you can see on the replica, it's way thicker. The two pieces of leather that are put together, it's a lot thicker. And then you also want to look at the stitching too. On the Authentics, it's going to be a lot crisper. And it'll always be really clean. Okay, now let's talk about the actual zippers themselves. So let me pop open the button here. And this is all leather, by the way. This is all leather here. It's leather handles. It's folded just like it should be. There's nothing on the inside. And this is really, really soft on here. Now the buttons on the inside, they did a good job with that. But again, it's very chrome finish. It's a chrome finish, and it's not a nice nickel finish like it should be. So remember, nickel finish, not chrome finish. Now the zippers on here too, it's a good zipper on the replica, but when it's hard to explain it, you have to just feel it. You have to just feel it. On the Authentic, they have great zippers, and it's like it's got a little bit more resistance to the zipper. It's not quite as like slippery. It's very smooth, but it feels tighter. Does that make sense? It's just a lot. It's very nice. It feels more substantial and higher quality, okay? Now let's go to the inside of the bag. I know this is a long video, but I'm trying to be really thorough. So I can kind of show you the inside of the bag here on the replica, which doesn't really do much. But you need to look for the, like on the regular Le Pliages, it's going to have the button on the inside, but it'll have that plastic thing around it. But that does not mean it is authentic if it has that thing. There's lots of replicas that have the plastic ring thing around the button portion on the inside, okay? So you can't go by that. And then this too. See this replica? It's got the thing, the plastic ring around the button. So you can't go by that. And I'll show you my authentic one. There's the authentic one. So you can't go by that little, just because it has a plastic thing around the button on the inside does not mean it's real. But once again, the finish tells it all. It's chrome. It is chrome again, as opposed to Authentics, which are nickel finished. All right? And let me show you the tag. And I'll try to insert pictures of this too. Okay, here is an authentic made in France tag. I don't know if that's... Sorry if it's not picking it up perfectly. But this is authentic. And then the replica says made in France too. But it's made in China somewhere. And there's the replica one. Now what I noticed on these is and this is something where you need some more side by side, because they have like similar markings and numbers and everything on there, but it's funny because the authentic one, it's a little bit more faded as opposed to the replica one. You know what? I'm just going to insert pictures of these. So I'll just do a side-by-side picture and insert it in the video so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, it'll make it a little bit easier because you can't go by that, but I know you can search the numbers or call Longchamp themselves and read them the numbers, and if the numbers will match the style of the bag, the size of the bag, and the color of the bag. All right. Now, let me show you. This will be the final thing for you to go by. Is the care booklets. Oh, I still have my. See, this is a tag that I got. That's an authentic tag, but anyway. On authentic Longchamp care booklets, okay, it's very hard to tell. Now, there are some fakes that do these well, but they always mess up somewhere with spacing, or there's always something wrong, okay, with a fake or a replica. They always screw up somewhere at some point. Now, what I found is a lot of the replicas, they do not have the little serial number, or whatever number you call that, at the bottom corner of the care booklets. All of my authentic bags have a number, or I don't know, number, letter, whatever, a letter and numbers on there that coincide with the model of the bag, okay? And the replica one does not have that number down there. So that's kind of a dead giveaway too, because all the authentics will have that number down here. But some of the fakes do, so, but this is just another thing for you to look for. And then I'll show you the inside. I'm dropping it. Okay, this is the inside of a fake. So this is the replica one. And I don't know if you noticed, but the very first thing I noticed was this, the spacing down there, where it says trimmed with cowhide leather. The spacing is off on that. This is a real one. There's a lot more writing in here too. Lots of more writing in the authentic. And it says just trimmed with cowhide. Okay? And the spacing is correct. So this is the inside of the authentic one. There's a lot more writing. Alright, you guys, well, I hope this was able to help. And I'm going to go take some pictures for you guys of these 2 bags, and then like the tags, and I'm going to do the side-by-side photos for you guys, so you have that to reference to if you're out looking, or you know, or trying to purchase something. You're still welcome to email me photos if you have questions. That's totally fine. And yeah, so I hope this helps somebody, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So until next time, you guys keep it tight. Talk to you later. Bye.